my feet showing? I don't want to attract people who are perverts for the feet. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome if you're new. My name is Lo and today we are going to be going over what I watched in January. So like my January wrap up watch list. So everything that I watched from start to finish and whether or not I recommend it. So yeah, let's get into it. So first I'm gonna start with the only series that I watched from start to finish in January, and it's Bridgerton. Oh my god, yes, I'm a basic bitch. I love Bridgerton. Okay, let me just get the controversy out of the way. I know that England is not exempt from the atrocities and contributions that it made to the slave trade. I know Americans feel like it's kind of erasing the fact that England kind of jump-started the whole slave trade thing, but I mean, I'm Zambian and England, they colonized us. So I know, like, the ramifications, we still have colonial structures here. But at the end of the day, sometimes it's just nice to see a reimagining of history. Like, if people had other things to be worried about other than the color of your skin. Like, it was just so nice that the color of your skin wasn't a problem. It wasn't an issue. That would be a lovely, fantastical, beautiful world where we can just worry about being backstabbed because we're being backstabbed. It's just a nice reimagining, and I get it. I hear the people who have problems with Bridgerton, but at the end of the day, only a fool can forget that Britain is some sort of a beast when it comes to the fact that they try to rule the entire world. But I'm not your history lecturer. You have textbooks. So Bridgerton, I really like Bridgerton. It's so scandalous, and I love it because it's scandalous, because we all know, I feel like by now you should know that I love drama. I just love it so much, and Bridgerton was everything I needed. It had people making irrational decisions based on emotions. I don't know, back in the day, I don't know if people had, you know, an allergy like for telling the truth, for being honest about their feelings. But like, yeah, we love to see it. Like, you know what's gonna happen, you know so and so is going to fall in love with so and so, and yeah, sometimes you just don't want to think. Sometimes you just want to sit on your bed and watch people just be in love and make crazy hot and steamy passionate love, and it's fine, you know what I mean? Like, we don't always have to have, you know, if you want something, a period piece that is for thinking very much, you go and watch Pride and Prejudice. They are there for you. They are there for you. There are so many of them. You can even read classics, the books, you can read them. But Bridgerton is for people that want to feel a little bit cultured but are not really cultured, and that's fine. You know, it's no Downton Abbey, but it's still really good and it's really fun. I personally gave it an 8 because it does what it says on the tin. It's drama, it's scandal, like, you know what it is when you picked it up. I mean, I don't want to go into too much detail about what it is. There are so many places you can find a review of Bridgerton, but yeah, for me, I recommend it if you really like drama. It's a show for you. Now let's get into the movies. The first movie that I watched, it didn't come out this year. I think it came out last year. Anyway, the next movie that I want to talk about is His House. I really liked His House, guys. So Netflix, it is a horror movie. It is about these I think South Sudanese refugees. They managed to escape the war and they found themselves in the UK, and they were kept in this refugee camp, or it looked like a prison to be honest, but yeah, that's where they were kept. And they managed to get themselves a house, but they kind of like were on probation, so they needed to, the government needs to see if they can assimilate into society. Yeah, so the family is, they are really struggling, hey? Like, they've seen some stuff and they are, I feel like they have PTSD. They have PTSD, they have survivor's guilt, they're homesick. and they've just lost so much. They've lost their families, they've lost their homes. You know, they literally survived the genocide. This movie was so great. I love this movie because it's a horror movie, and it's kind of like, for me, it gave me Grudge vibes because the jump scares were really good. Like, I really enjoyed the jump scares. Like, I was dreaming. You know, for me, if a horror movie is good, it's gonna give me nightmares, and it gave me nightmares, and I was so glad that I found this movie because I love horror. I love being scared. I love being terrified, and the entity, yo guys, the entity that was terrorizing them, hey, it just reminds me that here in Africa we really believe in a lot of things. We really believe in a lot of things. But like, yeah, it was so good. I love the way they were exclaiming. Like, the way they would exclaim was just, it was just like, it's just an African thing. What? I love that movie. I highly recommend it. If you're looking for something to watch, if you've been looking at it on Netflix and it's been looking at you, sweetie, just click play. It's a good movie. I gave it a 9 out of 10. And yeah, I gave it a 9 out of 10 because it was just kind of slow in a few parts, but other than that, it was very strong for me. Highly recommend that. The next movie I saw was Sightless, and I was very disappointed. It's also on Netflix. I just didn't like it. The premise was ridiculous. It's about this woman who loses her eyesight in an attack, and you know, weird things just start happening to her. And for me personally, it was just so unbelievable. It was unbelievable. I liked the idea of the cinematography. It was really bright. I think they wanted to paint a picture of, for us, like the way she was seeing colors in her mind, like her memory of colors. So the lighting was very, you know, it was very interesting. So yeah, other than that, it was really bad. I'm sorry to say, but I'm not sorry to say, I didn't enjoy it. Like, it was a ridiculous premise. The acting was fine. It stars that girl from Riverdale, and that guy, I don't know where he's from. I'll put it somewhere, but I know that I've seen him. It was so boring and so flat. I've never been so disinterested. Like, someone was literally fighting for their lives, like fighting, wrestling for their lives, and I was just so bored. I was just not interested, and I don't know, I just didn't believe it. I just didn't believe the premise. I couldn't immerse myself into it. Like, it was just bad. Sorry to say. But like, yeah, I gave it a 2 out of 10. Watch it at your own risk. It's not even good for background noise in my opinion, but like, yeah. The next movie that I watched was Outside the Wire, I think. And you know, I love sci-fi and I love war movies. So I was like, wow, this is amazing. It's the marriage of two of my favorite genres. And it was just so flat. I just couldn't believe it. And mild spoiler, it's kind of like Training Day with a human soldier and an AI soldier. And it's just, you know, it started off promising. I'm like, okay, this is interesting. This robot, he's so sentient, he's so like a person, you know what I mean? Like, he has the quirks, he has the humor, he has the temper. But then it just became so ridiculous. You guys, it just gave me the feeling of a movie from on TBN. Do you guys remember the Trinity Broadcasting Network? Like, it just felt like a Christian movie at the end. Like, what the hell was that? Like, I don't know if you've watched it. Please let me know down in the comments. Like, what did you think of that twist? Because I thought it was so stupid. Like, yes, I get it. They're trying to make us be aware that America doesn't give a damn about collateral damage in countries where they go and fight. I get it. And that is so true. But at the end of the day, it's like, what? The way that we arrived to that conclusion, I just didn't enjoy at all. It was just so stupid to me. It was so stupid. I've never felt so disappointed in a sci-fi movie. It's really hard for like sci-fi to piss me off. The only sci-fi other than this one that has managed to upset me is Skyline. And yeah, so for me it's a 3 out of 10. It's a 3 out of 10. The next movie on my list is Assassination Nation, and I really like that movie. I am a huge fan of B movies. I feel like that's what they were going for. So if you like B movies, you are definitely going to enjoy Assassination Nation. Kind of pretentious in its writing, I can't lie. You know, kind of a PSA, if you will. The premise is basically this hacker starts revealing the information of, you know, people who live in this suburb, and people's lives start getting destroyed, and it just becomes chaos. So I really liked it. The gore was great. I really liked the characters. They kind of annoy me sometimes because I mean they are teenage girls, but I really did enjoy it. It was what it is what it is. If it's a B movie to me, if the creator didn't intend for it to be a B movie, I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell them. They made a B movie, but it's a great B movie. 7 out of 10. Highly recommend it if you like gore, if you like, you know, if you just like drama, if you just love knowing people's secrets, watch it. It's like some of the secrets that were coming out, it was like really earth-shattering, and at the end of the day, the overall message is, if the rules that you create for yourself are too hard for you to live by, then maybe change the rules. You know what I mean? Like, don't try and pretend like, oh, we are this upstanding what, and then in the shadows you go and do the opposite. Because at the end of the day, you only have yourself to blame when people find out. You know what I mean? So yeah, highly recommend Assassination Nation for people who like B movies, who like gore, who like incredibly violent movies. It's a movie for you. Highly recommend. 7 out of 10. The next movie on my list is White Tiger. I really enjoyed this movie, and it's basically Eat the Rich. You know what I mean? It's about this guy who was born into an extremely low caste in India, and he is narrating this story. I mean, if you've seen the trailer for it, you practically know what the movie is about. Yeah, so he starts working for this family. I mean, he really goes into detail about the mindset of the lower caste, and that they just live to serve. Like, their purpose in life is to serve. They've been brainwashed to not want anything for themselves. You know what I mean? It was hard to watch because of that. I felt really bad at the conditions that some people are really believing in this world. Like, it was really not hard to watch because it was bad, but just hard to watch because it's a reality for a lot of people. And yeah, I highly recommend it. The only issue I had with it was, for me, it felt kind of dated, the storytelling and the writing, you know, that whole like breaking the fourth wall type of situation. But I really enjoyed it, and I highly recommend it. Yeah, I think the cast did a pretty good job, and it's just disturbing to me. It actually really disturbed me. I just can't believe that a government can allow things like this to go on. But anyway, that's a story for another day. I gave it a 7 out of 10. It was very good. Very good. The next movie on my list is actually it's actually a drama. Like, it's heavy. There's no jokes in it. It's Pieces of a Woman, and it's basically this woman and her partner had a baby, an at-home birth, and things don't go as planned. And yeah, it's just a story about surviving grief and, you know, dealing with it, how it affects your relationship, how it affects your family. It's just a lot, how it affects you as a person who goes through the grief. It was a very heavy story, you know. It's going through all the stages of grief. I think it it took me a few hours, maybe like an extra hour to watch, because I kept pausing because it was just so heavy. And I know people who've gone through that like in their lives, and it's just like, yeah, it's a lot. But I really like that movie, and if you like heavy movies, if you like dramas, you should watch it. I gave it a 7 out of 10 because it's a good movie. It just upset me in the way that it chose to show. I felt like the way the guy's journey with the grief was kind of, I don't know if it's a true story. I'm so sorry, because obviously we don't do research on this channel, but I mean, I just felt like it was kind of cliche, like the way he was dealing with the grief. He started off like really, really awesome, really supportive, and then he just, I don't know. You be the judge if you want to watch it. The next movie that I saw was Halloween. Yeah, it didn't come out, like I think it came out like 3 years ago or something like that. But Halloween is my least favorite of the big 4 slasher franchises, because I just can't get my head around Michael. It's like, what is wrong with you? Like, what was the reason? Because it's just like, okay, you are this really strong guy who can kill people, right? There's no real reason why he killed people. I feel like that's why Rob Zombie was trying to give Michael some sort of like reason for why he was doing what he was doing. But like, yeah, but anyway, back to the movie, the Halloween one, where they brought back Laurie from the dead. Very happy about that. I didn't like the fact that a lot of the murders felt like were happening out of sight. Like, you just hear someone being smashed in the next room, and then we get panned over to the aftermath. People are going to be scared of me when I say what I'm about to say, but we want to see it. We want to see the carnage. Why are you watching a slasher movie if you don't want to see people be slashed? You know what I'm saying? Like, there was one satisfying scene, I think if you watched it, you know what I'm talking about. But like, there was one satisfying scene where we saw it from start to finish, But at the end of the day, it was a lot of, and then you just see aftermath. And it's just like, yeah, the aftermath was great, it's gruesome, but we want to see how we arrived at that result. You know what I mean? And I mean, we're not children. You're not watching a Halloween movie to be singing Kumbaya. If you're, so if you're watching Halloween, you are a twisted person and you like carnage. And I felt like I was robbed of my carnage sometimes. And also, I didn't like Laurie's daughter to start. She was kind of annoying, and it kind of irritated me that they all kind of kept it shrouded in secrecy, like what really happened to her and stuff. But Laurie's daughter did redeem herself for me in the end. But like, yeah, Halloween, it was just fine for me. It was just okay, and I really hope that it's the end. But I feel like it might not be the end, because they like to make it seem like Michael is immortal. And I'm just like, okay, he's just boring to me. He's boring. I think for his major selling point was the fact that he massacres people. He kills them very well. You know what I mean? But like, I prefer Leatherface for that, because Leatherface literally butchers human beings to feed to his family. So yeah, I don't really care for Halloween as a franchise, but that's just my personal preference. But like, yeah, it was fine. I gave it a 5 out of 10. I did enjoy it, but I feel like I could have enjoyed it more. You know what I mean? The last movie on the list of things I watched in January is New Mutants. It was fine. It was okay. I really didn't like the cliches of the characters, like the character traits kind of irritated me, like the blonde bombshell who is mean because something really awful happened to her. and that rich spoiled hot boy or whatever. Like, it was just like, come on guys, you know. But at the end of the day, I guess they wanted us to see why they are in this place and why they were, you know, I don't want to say too much because I feel like some people haven't watched it. So I just felt, characters wise, I felt they were really laying it on a little bit too thick with the stereotypes and the cliches. But I really thought that the blonde chick's power was really, really cool, and the main character's power was actually really, really cool. But it was sad, eh? I'm not going to go into detail, but it was kind of sad. Like, I mean, I'll watch a New Mutants sequel if it came out, because I'll take anything at this point. After Dark Phoenix and Apocalypse, I'll take anything. So for me, I just give it a 5 out of 10. It was fine. I feel like maybe, you know, maybe the aftermath they'll have something, you know, maybe they'll be able to tell a more interesting story. I feel like they could have done so much more with it, but I guess, you know, reshoots, we don't know what was happening, we don't know what could have been. So yeah, 5 out of 10. Yeah, so that's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please feel free to let me know what you thought about the movies, if you've seen the movies, if you want to see the movies, in the comments. And yeah, we'll see you in the next one. Bye.